Wow. Welcome
Climb
back
the
to Batman
ladder.
Arkham Origins, Part 3.
Good times.
So, we could go to Penguin, or we can take out all the relay towers.
This man. He's like,
Well,
we're
all
doing.
the relay,
Yeah, he's like,
relay
we're doing.
network relays, my bad.
Yeah, he's like, we're doing this now. God damn it.
Well, it's also because, okay, by doing so, you get an upgrade to your cryptographic sequencer,
Sensor. Yep.
which gives you the range modification.
Yep. Which is
And now we're going to bring up the upgrades. I want to segue into the upgrades and the Dark Knight system. I don't like it. I don't like the changes they made because they essentially force me to get upgrades in an order that I usually don't go for. Like, usually armor is the last thing I get in these games. I usually try to spend it more on, like, practical upgrades because I don't really find I need the armor most of the time. If I get hit, that's usually just me screwing up. So in theory, I shouldn't screw up too badly.
in my case, I always get the armor upgrades first.
Well, that's nice. So I don't like the way this game organized armor upgrades because it effectively means I can't get certain upgrades that I want without having to first get the armor upgrades. And that's kind of dumb. Two, the Dark Knight system. I hate it. It locks upgrades behind objectives that you have to complete in a row, and you can't complete them out of order at all. So it's just it's really annoying. I don't get why they did it. I hate the system. And it's just like I'm going to bring up like a particularly annoying instance of like one of the Dark Knight things. But like later when it becomes relevant. But yeah, I don't like the system. I never did even when I first played this game. It was one of the things I always hated about this game. Also, I missed the data pack, which I realized when editing. I just flew right past it. Now, as for your other sort of collectible, scannable things, replacing the riddles are these anarchy tags, where if you scan them, you get some very biased commentary on various businesses and locations. Like, if I recall correctly, that it's basically from the perspective of Anarchy, who we'll be encountering later, who's a piece of shit.
Yes. Yes, it's literally his perspective.
Yeah, and it's very, very biased. So, yeah, this part's basically just going to be looking for all the relays and also crashing at Edward Nigma's place. Ah, that frame drop. Lovely.
There's been multiple of them.
I know, like every time for some reason, every time when one of those things get hit, or at least almost every time, the game like stutters a bit and just kind of freezes for a sec.
It's because they have to load it out, that's why.
Yeah.
Also, it's saving every time you do that. So
I know, and I feel like it's both a texture streaming issue from the hard drive and also the hard drive's like stopping because of saving. It's either because the game's a little unoptimized in some parts, but I also think it's kind of has to do with my hard drive and just Windows 10 being fucking stupid at times. Because there are like random instances where Windows 10 will say, okay, let's use up all the hard drive. Or almost all of it. For no fucking reason.
Get an SSD already, you bitch.
A part of me thinks that might not help. Because like there's apparently a function in Windows to stress test the hard drive. Which is not necessary at all. And it will regularly do this action for no fucking reason. And you have to screw around with your config files in order to disable it. It's so stupid. I have no idea why Microsoft has that enabled on like Windows 10 models, because it does nothing but annoy me.
I think it's because it just sends data back to them so they know how to better.
Well, that too. Microsoft also loves doing that, which also probably uses up the hard drive.
Yep.
I need to make sure that data doesn't actually get collected, because like usually the primary reason as to why this sort of stuff like happens to the hard drive. I'm pretty sure. And we got the upgrade. Alright, time to go pay Edward Nigma a visit. Whee! I probably could have edited this out, but nope.
Yeah, to show
this part would only be 7 minutes long instead of 10. Gotta get that non-existent ad revenue for a channel that isn't monetized in the slightest.
One day.
Maybe. I don't know.
Is it worth
Honestly,
the
I'm
hassle?
kind of thinking like even if I get a big audience on YouTube, I don't think I'm going to use YouTube as like my main source of revenue. I think I'll probably just go with Twitch streaming.
Well, I mean, you don't need. You already have a main source of revenue.
Well, I have a job, but at some point,
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of see myself leaving that job at some point.
Really? Oh yeah, I think we talked about this. You really don't like that
Yay,
sound?
the Dark Knight system. Oh boy. Fuck this system.
Relax.
I kind of
Nah.
like went on my segue a little too early, but oh well.
It's not that. It's not that bad. There are
Dude,
worse.
it is
There are
bad.
worse.
It's bad.
There are worse game mechanics than this, by a
Well,
long
compared
shot.
to all the other Arkham games, it's annoying. It's kind of because it stands out amongst all the other Arkham games.
Well, that's why it's known as like the what's it called? The
There's a
outlier.
reason why this system never comes back. Let me put it that way.
Also, because Rocksteady does their own shit too.
Well, Rocksteady seemed to like stubbornly refuse to do any of the things that Arkham Origins, even when they were legitimately good things,
Well, that's
good
because they
quality
already.
of life changes.
Well, that's because they already had a winning formula and they were gonna stick with it.
I know, but they didn't bother to like even implement any of the good quality of life changes that Arkham Origins. Like for instance, you can't knock out people you need to interrogate. Batman will automatically just will just ease up on them.
Yeah, I know.
That is a nice quality of life change that I appreciate. And they said fuck it in Arkham Knight. Same goes with the good, interesting boss fights. Like after so many quality boss fights, Arkham Knight was just very lackluster, and it was just felt kind of backwards.
Yeah, that's the one thing I agree with you on.
And they also tended to reuse a lot
And
of boss
then-
fights.
Punch. No, I'm just kidding. Kick.
Like
Imagine, look
even
at that.
I think Arkham Knight, even compared to Arkham City, was lackluster in boss fights because Arkham City at least had a couple stand out.
Hmm.
But Arkham Knight, it had maybe one, maybe two, at most. Also, Arkham Knight could have easily reused the Deathstroke boss fight for when you fought Deathstroke, and they didn't. And I will forever never understand why they didn't just lift this boss fight from this game and just shove it into Arkham Knight.
That's because Rocksteady's stubborn with their own formula.
Basically, had
like I
most
said.
of the work already done for them. They just had to follow up on the original concept. Okay, they didn't have most of the work from it. They would have had to do all the animations and stuff still. But you get what I mean. The idea, at least, could have been reused.
It's like what I said. Rocksteady was stubborn with their formula.
Yeah. For all the things they changed and added, they just didn't. They refused to add the good quality of life changes from the game before. Hell, they even in terms of themes, Arkham Knight goes like completely opposite to like this game's ultimate message, where you can't do things alone. You shouldn't do things by yourself. You need allies who can help you get the job done. Arkham Knight says, "Fuck that! No, only Batman matters." And it's just like, was somebody bitter about Arkham Origins or something on the dev team? Or something? Like they didn't like their baby being handed over to like another studio?
I couldn't tell you.
Well, it just makes me wonder that because like these two games have like are like polar opposites in some ways in terms of like themes. So now we get like the Riddler goons to interrogate in random fights sprinkled throughout the city.
Yep. I would say this is definitely the most interesting Riddler stuff I've ever done. Arkham Origins has the most interesting Riddler.
Really?
Riddler,
Are you? Why's that?
I don't know, but it's because like just what you have to look forward to, like the relays and like the data packs. Like it feels it has more like purpose. Like it feels like he's legit a villain and not just out there just to like try to fuck with us.
Well, the thing is, the Riddler trophies had data in them too. It's just like they were stylized.
Yeah.
But also, what Nigma is basically trying to do in this game is essentially sort of be
Mask.
anonymous in a sense,
Well, yeah. He's
and
like,
just like just basically oust everybody's skeletons in their closets, all the politicians, police people, etc., to incite a lot of chaos. Essentially.
Yep.
Brandon messaged us an image that I find fucking funny.
Yeah. I saw that.
Hey, I didn't
But
say.
we'll see you guys on the next part.
All right, see you guys.